Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about how to use adjustment layers in Adobe Premiere Pro. So what is an adjustment layer? Well, an adjustment layer allows you to add effects to all the layers that sit below it. So the benefit of using an adjustment layer is you only have to add effects to that one layer and everything underneath it gets that same layer effect. So it's time saving. Let me illustrate how it's done. Let's take a look at this footage that I have here. I have a nature scene where somebody's touching wheat in a field, and then I also added bee on a flower. Let's add an adjustment layer to this first clip. To do that, make sure this panel is active. Then go File, New, Adjustment Layer. Make sure that the adjustment layer has the same dimensions as your video settings. Press OK. Name your layer. So say I want to put a Lumetri effect onto this particular piece of footage. That's what I'm going to call my adjustment layer. Now I am going to drag my adjustment layer on top of the footage, and I'm going to leave some of it without it so that you can see the difference. So now with this active, let's go over to our effects panel and find the color effects. Let's go to Lumetri presets. Let's do cinematic. So now all you have to do is drag it onto the adjustment layer. Come into your effects control and find the Lumetri color. And let's play around with it. Let's see what we can do. Let's do some intensity. Slide this. You see how that changes the color in the actual footage here? Now let's slide this and see what the difference is. You see how it just really makes this pop? Okay, so say we wanted to add, in addition to this, another effect to this. Look at the effects menu again, and this time let's go to video effects, and let's do distort. And let's do sphere, so spherize. We're gonna drag this on top of it as well. Okay, with that dragged on top, let's come over to our effects control and find that. It's right here. So let's play around with the radius and increase the size and see what it does exactly. Okay, so as you can see in the center, you can see a sphere starting to form. And I'll just decrease it so you can see the effect. You can change the placement of it. So you can play around with that and see how that works for you. Now, say we wanted to have this be on the entire sequence. You can do that. And all you have to do is do it once. So what I want to show you is what it looks like without the adjustment on it. You see how it changes dramatically. The color changes dramatically. And the sphere itself, let's see where that is. Let's toggle this to see. We can move this if we want to see. Wouldn't that be a cool shot to be able to magnify that bee on there? And you can bring this to the end as well. The whole point of being able to use adjustments like this is so that you do not have to copy and paste whatever effect is on here to another one that you'd want to see the same effect. You just have to have an adjustment layer. And if you ever wanted to toggle it off, do the eyeglass there and say you don't want it anymore. But if you want to see it, boom, there it is. So it's a really cool effect. It's time saving. So that is, in short, how you add adjustment layers in Premiere Pro. Adjustment layers actually become really important and very useful when you have large sequences, 5-minute long sequences. And there are certain parts that you definitely know you want the same effects put to, but then maybe there are other effects that you want to add too. Say that you want to add another effect. Say you didn't want to have this effect on this bee and you wanted to have something different. Well, what you would do is come back over here, make sure this is active, this panel, do File, New, do another adjustment layer, make sure it's the same settings, say OK, name it so that you know that is a separate one. So we'll call this a bee. And then we're going to drag this over to our timeline and we can add whatever adjustments we'd like to this particular one. So you can have different adjustment layers throughout a large sequence, and it just makes it easier and more manageable. And also, you're not affecting the footage, the original footage in your timeline. If you ever look at it and say, that's just way too much. You know what? I don't even want an effect on there. Now all you have to do is undo it, like just take it off the eyeglass so you don't see it, or you can delete it altogether, and it just keeps your footage in the shape, the original shape. So you don't have to start deleting adjustments and effects within your effect control panel on every single piece of footage. So think of adjustment layers as time savers within larger form sequences. That's it. I hope you found this helpful.